Hey, welcome to the video. We're playing some Megabonk today, and I'm going to be showing you how to get the Chaos Tome. So there's a few characters that you could do this with, that particularly you want speed. So Tony Megabonk is fast, Calcium is fast, and the Monke is actually the one that we're going to be using today, and he is very fast because he's able to climb up walls. Now that ability is super useful, especially when starting out and you don't have too many jumps. And he does have a pretty good speed. Now if you're trying to complete this challenge, I'd recommend watching the video on my channel about how to move faster than default speed. That specific video, I'll show you how to pretty much, it's a combination of like movements and mouse to be able to kind of send your character flying a lot further. So if you're interested, that video is on my channel. It's a super short video. So for these tomes, specifically, or not the tomes, for the shrines, specifically every single level, there's a total of 15 shrines. Between these that you have to charge, the tiki heads, and the boss difficulty shrines, the ones that give you additional bosses, and the magnet shrines as well. So what I'd recommend you do is pull out your phone and just add 0 + 1 on the calculator when you get the first shrine, and every time you hit the equals button, it should add another 1 to that count. So just keep a count on your phone, on the calculator or something. It'll simplify it entirely for you. Now I gotta be honest, I'm not actually too sure if the magnet shrines are included in this 15, but I'm like 95% sure they are. But just keep track of the count and you'll definitely be able to do it. With the Monke, and honestly any other character, you want to kind of prioritize movement speed and additional jumps. You're able to get 2 in the beginning and then up to like 4 or even 5 if there's no better choices on the shrines. But definitely take those. It'll help you clear the maps a lot quicker. I would also enable the difficulty increases that you do find around the map. Don't go too crazy with them. I mean, but honestly, feel free to enable all of them. This build, since we do cooldown tome and quantity tome, your damage pretty much scales like crazy. Not the damage, but the DPS of your character will go up like a crazy amount. So with the Monke, you also, if you're doing it with the Monke specifically, you have to be kind of really careful to when you're in the radius of the charging shrines. You have to be careful to not kind of jump off the shrine. So with the Monke, since you're able to climb up walls, sometimes you have a good amount of speed to the point where if you like move near the shrine, let's say you're moving away from the enemies and you accidentally climb onto the shrine, sometimes you can get sent out of the radius of the shrine. So you kind of want to enter the shrines slower, and you don't want to do as much movement in the shrines. Specifically, you also want to be very careful for the boss spawns and the swarm spawns. So make sure you're looking at your time at 7 minutes on the first round. You're gonna have the bosses that spawn, and you want to take care of those pretty much as soon as you can. So grab all the stuff around the map, and yeah, when the swarm spawns, if you feel confident enough in your damage per second and being able to clear the enemies away from yourself, then feel free to actually charge the shrines while that's going on. But in the beginning here, we're obviously not anywhere near powerful enough. Right now what I need to do is kind of increase my DPS, so I'm just going around collecting everything around the map. There we go, we got 20% damage increase, another 20% damage increase here. If you see these skeletons, grab them, and obviously every single vase that you grab around the map is just that. We're gonna increase your build by that quite a bit. They do give a lot of XP, up to half a level, sometimes even more, and then they give a lot of gold as well. So anytime you see a shrine, or not a shrine, a vase, grab those. So here we go, we got some weapons, so we're grabbing the revolver, and we will be using the black hole. But yeah, grab the vases, especially if you're killing the bosses and there's not much else for you to do. Here we go in for the shrine, but unfortunately we didn't do it soon enough for the timer, or the freezing time power-up drop. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit over a cold that had me kind of losing my voice a while back, so it's finally getting over that, but I will sometimes get some phlegm. Okay, so here we're just trying to kill all these, the entire swarm and all the bosses here. You pretty much have to take care of these before you're able to do anything else. If they drop some power-ups, definitely utilize them to clear them out as quick as possible. And what you want to do with the upgrades is pretty much fill out all the weapons and the tomes as soon as you can. And you do, like here we got the luck tome. So luck tome, cooldown tome, XP tome, and quantity tome are what we're using. Okay, so we're still looking for 2 more weapons. The black hole and the wireless dagger. So there we go, we're able to fill out our 3rd weapon. Grab the shield power up. Another quantity upgrade. And a free chest. Spicy meatball is actually really good. And we got our 4th weapon upgrade, the wireless dagger. So now we just have to finish off the shrines here for this round. Let's see how high we can jump now. Just by using the additional jumps that we got, and by using the movement kind of strategies, we're able to get around the map even faster. So additional 2 projectile count here, just to increase our damage. That's pretty much like getting a gold tome upgrade, maybe even red. Mirror will reflect damage, and we don't have one of those, so we might as well grab that. Grab all the difficulty adjustments as well, all the vases that you see around the map. I'm kind of saving a lot of these magnets for later in the run, so if you get a magnet really early on in the run, I typically just leave them. Just let them be, and then later on I'm sure you'll find them, especially with the really fast movement character like the Monke. So for the black hole and the bananas, size is really important, and the duration is really good for both of those. So you definitely want to try to kind of build that up as much as possible, because it'll build like a barrier around yourself. Okay, so these these cards are really nice for getting, because we have yet to open many chests. We still have like we've only opened 1 chest so far for what actually cost us coins. Here I would have wanted the key that gives you free chests. Unfortunately I didn't have one of those, and I wanted to get the XP watch upgraded, but I didn't want the voodoo doll thing to disappear, so I used the voodoo doll first, and unfortunately it took the XP watch with 8% XP gain, but it's okay. We just increased our damage by quite a bit with those 4. total voodoo dolls. Okay, so now we're just going around the map, double checking, make sure that we got all the chests, ensuring that we didn't miss any of the shrines. So we got a chest here, the gold power gloves, which is really nice because they kind of create a blast radius around your character. And with that, it's nice for the swarms, and especially for this challenge, since you have to kind of stay within the charge shrine, so it can potentially help keep enemies away from you. Okay, so we're just going around the map here. We still have about 2 minutes 34 seconds, 30 seconds about, so I'm more than confident in the amount of damage that we're able to do, especially for the final boss. And at the 2 minute mark, you should have the enemy bosses spawn, not the boss portal bosses, but it's like an enemy wave. Okay, so we got the Wando or something. That's the revive. So if your health gets to a point where you're about to die, it'll freeze time. And it'll allow you to get away. So here we go, we got our last shrine here. Okay, you can see how fast we're actually killing these bosses. With this strategy, since we're doing the cooldown and the quantity tomes, we're pretty much able to kill everything. So in this first round, feel free to take as many of the boss difficulty upgrades as you can find. Here we see 2 chests, so we're gonna grab these. I like to wait to open the chests from the first round. I'll try to save all the gold coins, because by round 2 we're gonna have increased luck. We'll potentially have some more of those cards that increase damage and luck. And we're just gonna have a lot more coins saved up, so we'll be able to clear most of the chests right away. We won't have to focus on like harvesting gold. Plus you get throughout the run, you get the boosts that give you additional gold. As well, the shrines will give you additional luck. You'll get items that give you additional luck, so you just get better rarity and better tiers. But you do lose out on a lot of the green benefits in the beginning, the green item benefits in the beginning, such as like additional XP gain, attack speed, just stuff that can give you more XP and potentially more luck. Since we do have the luck tome, we're able to pretty much increase the rarity of the items. So here we start the bosses super late because we have so much damage, and I'm really confident in being able to kill them really fast. It's really not an issue. You can see how quickly their health is going down, and we should definitely be able to last the final swarm wave, at least for a minute easily. At about a minute 20, they might start getting a little bit closer to us. Okay, so for the revolver and the wireless dagger, you want to get projectile bounces for those, at least a couple in the beginning. And quantity, you'll just focus with the quantity tome. So we got the cursed grabbers here, which will increase our damage overall. But yeah, for the banana ring and the black hole, there we go. We finally got one of those keys I was talking about for the 10% free chest. So if we get a microwave, we'll have to microwave that. Let's finish off these bosses. We're about 35 seconds into the final swarm, so get these and then we'll go hug that portal just to make sure we're not gonna be losing here. You can very easily get sent away from the portal. Once a minute hits, about a minute 10, they get to the point where the elites will start kind of pushing you around. And it might make it super difficult to get back to the portal, so it's not even worth the risk, even for the additional XP. Dude, you might gain like a level or two, but it's really not worth it taking the risk. So just kind of stand by the portal. With the monkey, you can't press the forward key because it'll climb the portal and it'll just send you flying. So you just want to stand as close as you can to the entrance of it so that you have some kind of barriers above and around you. So that if you get sent, you'll potentially stay within the radius of the portal. But you can see how effective the bananas are. Particularly, you want to increase their size in the black holes because they'll swarm around you and create kind of like a protective barrier. So it's super nice. Okay, so we're getting to the points where we're probably going to want to teleport fairly soon. They're still not swarming us, but they are kind of pushing us around. So just to not risk it, we teleport here. Okay, we got another level. Some more luck increases. We'll grab all the boss shrines. We are doing a good amount of damage, but in the beginning we might wait a little bit to grab all of them, just because we just started this tier. Joe's dagger is really good. We don't have too much chance to execute enemies, so it's not gonna do as much as it would with, like, say, if we had the Dexecutioner weapon. Wow, two golds in a row is really good. We got the power gloves as well. That's the second pair of power gloves, so I believe that's the one that creates the border around you, or the radius. And we got the anvil, 3 golds in a row. Anvil is amazing. Additional skill or additional upgrade for each weapon that we get. So we'll say projectile count and attack speed. Now we're gonna have projectile speed as well on there. There's whatever it is. So every single weapon upgrade is just going to be that much greater. That's kind of why we put off upgrading our weapons, just in case we did receive an anvil. Mostly the tomes are usually a better choice for the upgrades. Okay, so let's just grab everything around the map. We got moldy cheese. Moldy cheese is really good. That's actually our first one, so I'll happily take that. It just increases the speed that you're able to kill enemy bosses. Campfire is actually fairly good for this, for getting this tome quest, the cursed tome, because when you stand still, and particularly with the monkey, you don't want to be moving around too much when you're in the radius. You just gain health, so kind of free levels there. Let's see what this guy's got to offer. So we do have the slutty cannon there, which is just additional damage. The wrench is really good as well, 7.5% increases from the charge shrines. We're not really going for a meta strategy, we're just trying to get the enemies away from us so that we can complete this tome. So we'll take the wrench there. The luck is good too, but we do have the luck tome, and the wrench will help us increase the luck from these charge shrines. Okay, so crit damage is good. HP regen is okay. Really don't need HP regen too much, but it does help stay alive, especially if you have to battle kind of a swarm when you're charging a shrine. Okay, so at 7 minutes the bosses will spawn. Here we'll start opening chests slowly. Might as well utilize our time as effectively as possible when killing these bosses, so let's focus on killing them. We're killing them quick, but it's nothing too amazingly fast. So we get the thunder gloves, which I think chance of causing like a thunder explosion every 10 seconds. And then we got the 33% increased damage while airborne, which is really nice for the monkey, especially with multiple jumps. And then additional damage from that shrine. So just pretty much go around the map, keep your calculator, reset it to 0 at every single new tier, and then hit the plus button every time you use a shrine or you see one. So there was a boss shrine in that corner. Typically you just want to activate all the shrines and then just add the +1 just so you make sure you don't lose count. But particularly I wasn't really utilizing the calculator myself too well here. But I'm pretty sure every single shrine that you see will eventually add to that 15 count. That wouldn't take any upgrades. They give you additional shrines per level. There's one specific upgrade that'll give you more shrines every time you enter a new tier. It's +2 shrines. It's the one that gives you like healing, so it makes the charge shrine into a healing area. So if you see one of those, I would particularly banish it. We got the spicy meatball here, so with the increased luck, you can see the more chests we open, the higher rarity of things that we're getting. We're actually getting fairly lucky with the gold pulls. We got 7 gold items so far. It's not all from the chest, but we are getting kind of the shops that sell us stuff. So at this point, you kind of want to start focusing, especially since we have the anvil now, on the highest rarity of things. If there's not anything particularly good that you're looking for, just take XP gain. That's usually the best, but size, if you see that for the black hole or the bananas, is usually a good choice, especially if it's like a higher rarity. Excuse me. Size and damage upgrades there were both good choices, but since the damage was a higher tier, I went with that one. So we got a luck increase here. That was nice to get. We still have our chest still costs only 300, and we're getting a good amount of gold so far. Jump height and evasion are both good, but I'm fairly confident with the amount of jumping we have with this character. At this point, I wouldn't be opposed. Nice, we got a free key. I wouldn't be opposed to enabling more of these boss difficulty shrines. 12% chance to get more XP. That one is really good. I believe it's the shard shrine. Luck 5.4. The shard something. I don't know what it's called actually. But that the sucky magnet is extremely good. You get that in your run. It's actually really good. I would save your banishes for gold items. If you start getting duplicates, maybe banish things that you don't need. I wouldn't banish the additional heals or the revives or the Joe's dagger. It's really unnecessary to do, so we're just pretty much using this microwave here to get as many blues as possible. Help ourselves out, finish off all the shrines. We've got about 4 minutes and we should have a boss spawning at around 3. Maybe 3:30 for this one. It depends on when the first boss spawns. So let's grab as many charge shrines as we can. With the sucky magnet, you can see we're actually receiving levels fairly fast now. And the more levels we get, the more people the more enemies we spawn. The more we're able to kill and the more XP we get. Since we're not using the Chaos Tome, there's not really too much of an increase of enemy spawns. It's just moving around the map, we're able to kill them a little bit quicker. So this tier 2 has usually higher walls and a higher height of things. So particularly you want to have a minimum of 3 jumps. 4 will be super beneficial to you. You have the feather. That'll also increase the jump heights for you. So the feather is particularly fairly good. Okay, so let's see how we're doing with the swarm here. We're doing super well, so just keep low to the ground. Try to grab as much XP as we can. Okay, we'll start grabbing a chest soon. And grab as many of the jars as you can. We're just double checking everything around the map here to make sure that we're not missing anything. Here's the beacon. The beacon is what you want to banish if you're doing this Cursed Tome quest. It's definitely not worth grabbing. Okay, so let's just choose all the upgrades. If it's all green and you have XP, grab that. Alright, so another free chest here. Luck by 7.5. Luck is always welcome. Let's finish off these bosses. We're doing a good amount of damage here. Say like a 250,000 in 5 seconds. So we'll do about 1,000,000 in 10. And the boss should have likely a little bit over 1,000,000. And since there's 2 of them, about 2 million plus damage that we have to do, say 2.5 million. So about, I'm gonna give it like 30 seconds to kill both the bosses. You can be a little bit conservative on that, and you can always run away from the bosses before you start them. But if you feel like you're gonna kill them too fast, so it's probably about a minute. It's good to start the bosses. So let's approach this boss shrine here, near the boss spawner. See how much damage we're doing. They're under 1,000,000 as well, so this should be very easy to do in a very short period of time. Okay, we'll grab this first Chad Bark, and then once we get him, grab the chest, and then we'll run away just to harvest a little bit more XP. Here we got thorns and armor from that upgrade, so let's run away. Grab as many of these enemies as we can. Triple check the map here, ensuring we didn't leave anything on the table. Okay, so he is gonna die to our passive abilities here, it looks like. I was keeping track of where he was on the mini-map, so here we're just looking for this chest before we start heading towards the final boss spawner. We are fairly good on size for the black holes and bananas, but we would like them to be a little bit higher. We'll just go around the map, still check, see if there's anything else that we're missing. Now I'm not opening more chests because in the next round we're gonna have a lot of those tiki heads and charge shrines and abilities to pretty much open up our chances to get more luck and more of those keys to get even more chests for free. So we're not particularly going for kills here, so we're not trying to last as long as possible. We just don't want to leave any sort of loot that we're missing out here. So let's grab another chest here. That one was free. I don't believe the price went up. We'll grab these two as well. So 366, that one was not free, unfortunately. That one wasn't free either, but we did get a wrench, which is really nice for the next round, since all the shrines will now give 15% additional awards. We activated the bush here just to see how much damage we're able to do, because we really killed those bosses super fast. He's got 1.4 or 1.7 mil health, and we're actually knocking it down super quickly, so it's not really an issue. At around 120, I would be kind of worried about elite ghosts here doing too much damage, but we do get another chest out of this by killing this bush. Nothing good out of it realistically, just additional health while we're standing, but we are really on the damage build here, so we're not having any issues at all. Okay, so let's stand by this portal for as long as we can. Grab as many upgrades. Since we do have the sucky magnet, it is very beneficial to last as long as we can. Typically you don't want to be moving around to collect XP, but since we don't have to do any movement other than to grab this chest, I guess 8% XP gain is really good. We'll go XP gain since it's red there, and you can see the sucky magnet doing its job. That wasn't even the sucky magnet, that was just from stepping to the side there, so a lot of the XP that spawns is actually invisible, and a lot of the projectiles that spawn can be invisible too. There's a maximum limit to how many things you're able to see, but they do still exist there. So say you have the Aegis and you have like 100 projectile count, let's say, you're only going to see like 30 of those, and you'll only start seeing less once you get below the 30. So you might get hit 60 times, but it'll still look like you have the same amount of the Aegis. Same with all the other projectiles, so eventually you stop seeing the additional projectiles, but they are still there and they are doing the damage to the enemies. You can see why size here is important. And black holes are pretty much covering the entire area around us. Same with the banana ring. And we are about 2 minutes 30 seconds. I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to last to about 3 minutes. Okay, so we're approaching 10k kills and 11k, 12k gold almost, which is really nice for the chest for the next round. We'll be able to grab every single chest there pretty much. Which is really nice because we got the cards and we do have the, let's see, 4 keys total. So here I'd start pretty much grabbing anything on the highest rarity. If everything is blue, maybe you have a green XP tome, grab that. But you want to get luck increased as much as possible so that the rarity of things that you're getting are higher. Here you can see we're also getting pushed around by the enemies. We'll try to stay as long as possible, but we really don't want to risk this run since we're actually getting fairly close to completion here. So there you can see we got pushed away, so we'll just teleport as soon as we can. Okay, so we're at the final stage here. You could reset your calculator counter. Grandma Secrets is actually really good. And then for these double shrines, I wouldn't charge them both up at once for this challenge. We are powerful enough, and it's definitely possible to do, but we have enough movement speed and there's really no need to take unnecessary risks because you might have to redo the entire run. It's kind of not necessary. But yeah, grab all the jugs that you can find around the map and focus on getting obviously all the shrines. Make sure you're keeping an account on everything that you do activate and that you see around the map. Try to just activate everything you see. At this point, I'm doing so much damage that every single difficulty upgrade I see, I will definitely be grabbing. The magnets I'm grabbing, instantly clearing because they're not really useful as I have the sucky magnet. Okay, so we just clear those as soon as possible. We got crit chance gold, really good. Okay, XP gain. That's good as well. We'll get some more levels out of this, so we're at 113 right now. Should gain quite a few levels because of the sucky magnet going throughout the entire thing. So duration is also really good. It'll allow the bananas in the black hole to stay longer. For the bananas, I'm pretty sure it does apply to the bananas as well. But I don't know, I'm having a kind of a brain fart on that, so we'll see. I'm sure in one of the upgrades if it does come up or not. Okay, so projectile speed is okay, nothing too crazy. At 6 minutes 30 seconds we had these chunkum spawn. Let's see how quickly we're able to take care of them. So this build is getting really OP so far, especially since we have the Joe's dagger and the anvil. Those are some of the best things that we can actually get in this run. We got the big bonk here. A couple more free chests. Campfire is nothing too exciting. More boss difficulty shrines, so 6 minute timer is approaching for the swarm, so you have to be careful. That might actually be at 5 minutes 30 seconds. Yeah, it's 5 minutes 30 seconds since the boss spawned at 6:30 instead of... Oh, we got another Joe's dagger. But yeah, since the boss spawned at 6:30 instead of 7 minutes, everything is pretty much down by 30 seconds, so the swarm should spawn at 5 minutes 30 seconds. We got the difficulty increase there, more XP gain from that chest. We're pretty much opening up every single chest that we see now. That's 1.3k per chest, so shouldn't be an issue. We got about 8 seconds until the swarm comes. We got a gold size increase. That's actually super awesome for this build, for being able to survive as long as possible on the final swarm. We'll definitely try to see how many kills we could get at the end of this round. Okay, so we get every shrine around the map. Just move around as quickly as you can. We do have a slutty cannon so far, and we don't have slurp gloves, so we might grab the slurp gloves because it'll give us just additional heals. It's not even necessary at all. Honestly, probably the more damage from the rockets would have been a little bit better, just because we're only sitting at 500 health. 500 is a lot, but once you get to that final swarm, it's nothing too crazy. They'll pretty much be able to one-tap you at about like 5 minutes. Okay, so we'll do the damage. Gold gain is good too, but damage is a lot, is the higher rarity. Was it 19% more, so it'll help out for the final swarm. We got a gold quantity increase there. Size on any one of the banana rings or black holes is kind of what I'm looking for mostly. Okay, grabbing the rest of these shrines. We're kind of nearing the end of the challenge here. The quest, and I'm fairly happy with this build for kind of surviving for just as many kills as we can get. We don't have kind of too many things to keep the enemies away from us. The black holes are nice, but I don't believe we have enough levels to kind of indefinitely last here. We do have 2 of the Joe's daggers, but we don't have anything that gives us a crazy amount of executions like the Dexecutioner. If we had the Dexecutioner, that would particularly help us the most, because every time you get an execution with that weapon, it increases the amount of damage that you can do. So we're at 12.8% damage right now. We're at 12.8 times the amount of damage, the base damage that we're doing. Okay, so damage deletes is good. Alright, now we pretty much have to just choose upgrades that are highest rarity at this point, so we probably have another couple shrines to do. When you have the swarm coming, you just have to be careful to not start a shrine when you have one of these going. Okay, we got another difficulty adjustment. That's more for the final swarm than anything. Our chests are starting to cost about 3k now as well. So any free chests are welcome like this one. Alright, let's grab this last shrine. Might be a few more after this actually. Oh yeah, that was the last one here. So we actually completed this Chaos Tome challenge. It was actually really easy to do. You just need a fast moveness character. I like the Monke. He's super easy to use. He's one of them, I'd say, more enjoyable characters because you're able to traverse the map super fast without any issues. You could obviously use Tony McZoom or Calcium. They're all really good. You just gotta pretty much get additional jumps. And now for the rest of this gameplay, we're just gonna be trying to focus on doing the final swarm as best as we can. So let's get the rest of these enemies. You can see how much damage we're actually doing. So they're all at 3.7 million health, and we're just clearing them out like instantly. So. And all the bananas you can see around us are massive. They're not particularly insanely huge, but we're getting to the point where I feel fairly confident that we'll be able to survive like 6 or 7 minutes easily. With those Joe's daggers, we just kind of need to kill as many enemies as possible. Okay, got slip gloves. It's not particularly good for this build. I mean, they are great to have normally. It's just we're doing the final swarm on T3, so at a certain point they just pretty much one hit you. So it's not going to help you too much. Okay, so just buy every chest you can now if you want to just survive for the kills. Just pretty much get your size up for the black hole and the bananas as much as you can. Grab all the epic upgrades that you have, especially if they're for the weapons, because you're limited to level 40 on the weapons, but the tomes can go to 99. So I don't think this will be an infinite run, so it's not particularly too necessary to get all the perfect tomes. I went with the size there for the bananas. I just want to kind of last as long as possible. Now we're just going around the map and looking for difficulty shrines to increase the amount of kills per minute, I guess. I don't know if that's kind of a metric anybody's ever used, but that is kind of the goal, just to increase the amount of total that we can get by the end, just to kind of see how far we can take this build. It is super OP. Normally, instead of the cooldown tome, we go with the curse tome for infinite strategy, because over the amount of enemies that you finish off throughout the entire run, you get a lot more XP, just because you're able to get more of those enemies, and you get more levels, resulting in more curse shrines and more enemies and more levels and more damage, etc. So typically cooldown isn't something too important. Quantity counts either. Although quantity is really nice to have. Quantity is very OP. Okay, so we're just going around the map here, seeing if there's any free chests, getting as much gold as we can to kind of buy out chests, and collecting all the jars that we see. Okay, so let's see what we got from this free chest. Scarf, so doing more damage when we're airborne, but that's kind of risky when doing the final swarm, so it's not going to be too effective for us. Would be a lot nicer to get the standing still damage increase, which I think builds up to like 100% damage increase when you stand still. I could be mistaken, but yeah, this strategy is actually really simple to do. You just have to kind of be able to move around the map super fast. So like I said before, if you haven't seen that video on how to move faster than defaults, that is on the channel. And if you're interested in content like this, Megabonk, even other games, let me know. Subscribe to the channel too. I'll have more videos coming out soon. I'm going for 1.5 mil total kills gameplay, which should be out fairly soon, so just be on the lookout for that video. And in the comments, if you're interested in seeing anything specific, other quests, specific builds, leaderboard strategies of any sort, let me know, even if it's other games other than Megabonk. But Megabonk is really enjoyable. It's a fun game to kind of play. So far, so I've really been having a lot of fun enjoying this game quite a bit recently, so that's why I have more content. And like the video if you want to see more content like this. It helps the channel out. Okay, so here we're pretty much going with the highest rarity of things that we're able to get. We kind of want more luck to get more reds. And since we're limited to the weapon upgrades that we're able to get, we try to take the reds as much as possible for those. But right now I'm kind of looking for size for the black holes and the bananas and duration. Okay, so we're at a minute about nearing about 20k kills. We got the dark ghost that spawn here. And with the sucky magnet, it's so beneficial, especially on the swarm runs, the final swarm runs, because it's nearly impossible to get all the XP without the magnets, and if you just have a consistent magnet going, it's super easy to level up, and the more levels up you get, the more the faster you're able to get them, and the quicker you're able to get your damage up. So yeah, now it's just going to be a lot of leveling up. Our damage, you can see, is at 19.1. We'll see what it is at the next level. We got the double cleavers here, so super useful. We're also approaching pretty much being able to buy another chest, but I don't think I'm gonna kind of risk going out there to get more chests. We're just grabbing as much kill count as we can get. So with this kind of just surviving for as long as possible, it's kind of for leveling up your character. You could also go for the 50k kill count total for the character, which will both unlock new skins. You could also try going for the quest where you survive 6 minutes in a final swarm. It's very doable with this build as well, so you can knock out multiple quests just by doing this single tome, the Curse Tome, or the Chaos Tome, I mean. Okay, so just grabbing the rest of these levels, you can see we're at 20.3x the damage. Got a free chest here, so we'll grab that. Purple Slutty Cannon, that's our second one. Just increased damage pretty much. Even more projectiles, so kind of crazy there. Really not particularly fast enough to kind of do anything to the enemies. The projectile speed needs to be a little bit higher, so they're most likely missing pretty much every single enemy that they aim for. Okay, we're almost at 25k kills, and we got to about level 216 here. 217, it's going off fairly quickly. Just because of the sucking magnet pulling in all the XP at once, so it's really nice to have that. For the banishes, as mentioned before, I would save those for the golds that you already have a single one thing of. But since we're not really going for like record kills here, doesn't really matter. You can use the banish to kind of just banish the shrine, the additional shrines per level. Forgetting what that one's called. It's the beacon. So definitely banish the beacon if you see that one. I don't believe you can disable that in the menu. But yeah, specifically for this build, we've got the bananas since we're using the Monke. But if you're using the what's the name, Tony McZoom, you'll start with the wireless dagger. And for that one, you'll do the black hole, the revolver, the wireless dagger. And then for the fourth one, it's really up to you. It doesn't really make much of a difference. You can do the blood magic for the increased chance of getting the additional HP. Or you can do the dice. The dice are good for, they pretty much every single hit, they have a 1 in 6 chance to increase the permanent critical chance, which is really good. Feathers here are really kind of useless. Not too good of a pull from the chest here. So we're approaching level 40 with the bananas, which is the maximum level. We'll try to kind of leave off all the weapon levels now to reds. Try to level up to tomes as much as we can. Other than the weapons, because the weapons are obviously much more limited to the level ups. Wireless dagger is red there, so we'll take that XP as well. Quantity red. Okay, and we just pretty much choose the best options for you, whatever you feel. We're at the point where we're at 30k kills, and I'm not too sure we'll be able to get to like 6 minutes. We're still getting fairly easy kills, and I'm standing by the wall here because we have the Zalandra, I believe it's called, the revive. Pretty much, which if we take enough damage, for death pretty much we get another chance at life, and we'll be able to move to a different location, one that's more clear, less towards the edge here. But we're just grabbing as many enemies as we can here. Okay, so our banana's level 38 so far, so let's grab this chest. Yeah, we got 2 more levels for the banana. Additional projectile from the chest here, which is nice. We're at about 5 minutes, or approaching 5 minutes on this timer. 32k kills almost. At 25x damage. Which is really nice since we got the 2 Jaws daggers. But like I said, with if you're using Joe McZoom, you could potentially also use the Executioner instead of the dice or the or anything else, because with the Executioner, if you do get the Joe's dagger, the increased executions will give you pretty much increased damage every single time you do the execution, which becomes really OP and pretty much infinitely stacks your damage with every Joe's dagger you get. And if you put off opening the chests for a little bit until you have more luck and more of the keys, there's more of a chance for you to get additional golds. And if you're going for that specific strategy, you could start banishing different golds once you do get them. So say you have two of some sort of, like say the Megabonk hammer, right? So if you have one of those and you get a second one, just banish it for an increased chance to get a Joe's dagger and the Zoandra revives. So the only things you really wouldn't want to banish are the revives and the Joe's dagger. And everything else, once you have one X health, you don't really need anymore. So and that's why particularly you want to save your banishes on these level up upgrades. You'll use the skips instead of the banishes because you're able to use the banishes on the chests, and when you use them on the chests, you just pretty much increase your chance whenever you roll a gold to get the Joe's dagger. Anvils, you obviously don't need additional ones of, and anything that does additional kind of projectiles or hits, they're really unnecessary once you get the Joe's dagger with the Executioner. And that's how the world record strategies are achieved. So you can see here we reached 6 minutes total, which would mean that we completed the quest for lasting 6 minutes in the final swarm. But since I've had that before, I didn't get any sort of notification for that. But if you're going for that quest, it's very possible to do with the strategy. So we maxed out the banana. We're getting close with the black holes. So the size of the bananas here is pretty much maxed out. We did get moved by an enemy there, but we didn't take damage, fortunately. So it's still possible to survive a little bit longer. I think we'll make it past 7 minutes. We're at 38, approaching 40k kills here. So it's not going to be a 500,000 kills for sure because we don't have the Executioner with these Joe's daggers, but if we did, we would be able to kind of approach that half million mark fairly easily. Which would put us on the leaderboard. The leaderboards did recently refresh because there were hackers on there before. Pretty much all top 10 spots on the leaderboard were hackers, so we'll attempt to get onto the leaderboards next. Let's see if we can do the strategy with the Joe's dagger and Executioner. So we're at 7 minutes. We're doing fairly good, but you can see there from the damage markers, they actually are approaching us. So I'm not too sure how much longer we're going to be able to last. We are at 40k. We kind of have to start prioritizing damage over luck and XP. So quantities, attack speeds, and just increasing the weapon levels. So we maxed out 3 of the weapons so far: the wireless dagger, black hole, and the banana. Got a free chest here, another gold. Zawardo, I think that's what it said, is that's the revive. So we got another free revive. Once we trigger the first one here, we'll move to another location since we're near the wall and they do spawn much closer to us. We're getting to about 40 to 2.5k kills here, and we're getting moved, so I'm positive we're gonna get one hit here soon, and the revive will get activated. Hopefully we're able to kind of increase as many levels as we can before that does trigger. We're at 1k HP with Monke. Every time he levels up he gets plus 2 HP. So I decided to move to a new location since we're getting moved around. Okay, let's see. Okay, so our revive got actually activated here at 43.5k at about 8 minutes. Just trying to find the most open spot here that I can before this timer starts going, but you can see we're getting moved, so we're just gonna have to hold this corner down as long as possible. We got sent up into the sky because we were trying to move closer to the wall and somebody got actually below us. Okay. So I'm sure we're not gonna last too long here. Got a couple more level ups, 44k. And we made it to 44,077 total kill count, which is top 2% of the players. They're 3,000th in the world, 3,800. We got our Monke to level 100 as well, and we did unlock the Chaos Tome here. Our most damage was Grandma's Secret at 5.26. 5.2 build damage, Spicy Meatball 3.7, Big Bonk 2.4, and the Banana Ring with the wireless dagger being the runners up at 1.8 and 1.6 billion. So you can see the additional gold items are actually good for the damage, especially when it comes to the swarms. But Joe's dagger is just infinite scaling on the damage. Anyway, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe to the channel. There will be more videos coming soon, and thank you for watching and have a good day. Bye.